start by acknowledging we're on the lands of the Yagara and Turrbal people and pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging, and all First Nations people here today, including you, Commissioner Lewis, and the wonderful speakers we've had throughout today, but particularly in this session. I'm partly responsible for the format of this youth summit, and every year I forget how hard it is to be the reflection speaker. There's just no way to reflect on what is the vulnerable, truthful sharing of your lived experience that isn't just matter of fact and isn't just anger or depression or a whinge. You each and all the speakers today have actually come here and presented solutions and asked us in the room to do better. And that's just a profound thing that I think our society too often forgets. And if I can do a Jehin segue, this is a session about learning and education. And one of the reasons I enjoyed today so much, and I hope you do too, is that all the adults are doing the learning and all the young people are doing the teaching. Shatika, we had the chance to meet and speak last night, and you still had me in tears in the front row there a minute ago. Your desire to do yourself out of a job is admirable. To the extent that I should support that, I will. But I honestly think you should have my job or the job of the Minister for Child Safety, or indeed the Prime Minister. Why are we leaving something so powerful to luck? Like, if there's a diagnosis of what's wrong with our child protection system, I think it's that single sentence. We all know that one trusted adult makes the difference. We all know it's consistency. We all know it's someone being there. And you have articulated the problem so clearly, but you've presented the solution, not theoretically, but you've talked about the work you're doing, and you've called for funding. And to the extent that I can, I will join you in calling for that funding. Makita, the idea that culture and identity and the history of First Nations people in Australia is something that is touched on but not deeply understood resonated deeply with me. Your call out that the teachers need to be taught was both clear and profound. And your allocation of that solution to other solutions such as positive role modelling and the availability of resources is just so clear. And I want to thank you for sharing that. It's a speech that can be shared with the Department of Education and the Education Minister so simply. Nagina, that sense of fear that you presented, what if I fail? Do I belong? Am I worthy of trying? That's a sickening feeling to experience, and to experience it on a daily basis. I can only imagine what that does. But as you were telling that story, you were standing here with such power and confidence and pride and sense of self-worth, I believe, that I saw shine out of you, that clearly you've got the solutions, and you're sharing it here today is uplifting to people like me that spends too long looking at cases where that's not always the case. Trauma doesn't always speak in English. What a wonderful way to describe the feeling and the experience of trauma, behaviour, and inadequate system response, and in fact inadequate system understanding. And then Esther, education shapes how we see our own future, and you show up and you lead by example. And education doesn't really mean much unless you feel safe. You articulated education inequity, the not just geographic or remoteness, but the changing of teachers, the unavailability of curriculum that is linked to where you see yourself in the future. It was another profound speech that says the current system isn't right and we need to change it. And so on that note, I think you all spoke to education being more than lessons. It's about connection, it's about belonging, it's about deep understanding. It's about seeing yourself reflected in what is being taught. It's about seeing yourself reflected in the people doing the teaching. And I just want to thank you all for teaching us. And now, because I've got the stage and I want to make sure we all leave it a general time, can I just close by saying how great are Queensland young people? It is the official launch of Youth Week, and that's why we have this event at this time. So it is Youth Week. It is when we do celebrate and recognise our young people. For 3 years now, we've decided to put on this event believing that it is worthy to have young people own and hold the stage and share not only their experience but their ideas. And I want to thank all the adults, the organisations, the government members, the members of parliament that are still in the room, still listening, still learning. Thank you.